Yes, please.
Investigator, how important would you say it is to preserve evidence in a case?
It's important.
Why is it important?
To preserve the integrity of the investigation as much as possible.
Is it important for the people on the prosecution side of the case?
It's important to everyone.
It's important to the defense, as well.
Yes.
How important would it be, if at all, to alert the defense if there's missing evidence? Would that be important?
Yes.
Why is that important?
To alert them that any evidence was missing would be important.
Why?
I'm not sure if I understand your question.
Why is it important?
I believe I answered the question. It's important.
Okay. I appreciate that. My question is, why is it important though? Why is it important?
Because of the integrity of the case.
What evidence, if any, has come up missing in this case?
Judge, can I ask to clarify, in the case against Richard Allen?
Yes.
And specifically the charges against Richard Allen.
Just the evidence related to the investigation of Abby and Libby's murders.
Judge, I'm gonna object to relevance. The only thing that's relevant in the state's mind is what pertained to the investigation of the guilt or innocence of Richard Allen.
We're gonna have a sidebar.
Okay.
Sidebar conference conducted.
First of all, Judge, the overall investigation, the opinion of the defense that there's total ineptitude of investigation, but most importantly, we had suspects that we didn't get to see their interviews, we were not able to see them, so, we should be able to ask questions. Were there suspects were there people who were interviewed early on in the investigation that interviews are missing? Yes. How many people? Who were there? At least ask the questions.
Judge, I don't think that's relevant to the investigation of Richard Allen. He's asking him about stuff that has nothing to do with the investigation or the charge against Richard Allen.
Well.
And he's getting into the motion in limine stuff.
That's why we're here, 'cause I didn't want to get.
I disagree that there's any tendency to make a fact more or less probable, inaudible.
Well, and that's the hallmark of relevance. I don't have a problem with inquiring about if evidence that is missing, and yes, in the course of the investigation, yes, there were some missing interviews you had technical problems.
Right. That's what I'm gonna be asking about.
Okay. And I think that's fair, but we're not gonna be talking about, you don't know that they were suspects, or you don't know if they would have been charged, inaudible.
But
the recording equipment was malfunctioning, or was overrode itself.
That's what I gonna.
Yeah. That's the evidence. I don't have a problem getting into that type of evidence.
Okay.
Or to that event, but limit it to your client.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I will not talk, that's why I'm here. I did not want to, my question was gonna be, we didn't get a.
Oh, no.
Not the word suspects.
'Cause you don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can.
So he can ask, I guess, so I don't want to continue to object. And I have a bad feeling he's gonna go back and ask the same question. He can ask about the missing evidence as it pertains to Richard Allen, or am I?
No, he can ask about evidence missing, but he cannot get into, I don't think anybody has any doubts that there were flaws in the investigation, but getting into your allegations of any third-party suspects that you don't have any evidence of.
I'm not gonna do that, but I will get into, I'll just tell you what I'm planning on getting into is there were the missing interviews, and then there was other missing interviews later on from April the 28th, I think, till June 2nd. And I have reports that investigator Mullin has provided us that I was gonna introduce just to say, yes, that's when it happened.
Well, we don't need reports, you do it however you.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want. There's an objection. Just so you know, I don't think reports are necessarily if he's gonna testify about his knowledge, which is sufficient. He was the chief of police at the time, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay. Well, so we don't have to have another sidebar. The report is important to show, it's a real concise way for him to explain what happened, you know, what he did about it, if anything, and so forth, and that's why I would introduce it.
Well, he's clearly testified about that from memory, as I recall for here in court.
Okay.
That he was pretty clear and succinct.
Okay.
To use it, there must be something he can't.
He can ask questions about the missing DVR.
Yeah, where it kind of
Okay.
got weird in that.
He can ask that?
Yeah.
He can't refer to that as interviews of suspects, though?
I'm not. I won't.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna say there were several people.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Okay. Thank you.
Sidebar conference concluded.
You may proceed.
Thank you. In this case, early on, there were interviews that ended up, of dozens and dozens of people missing, but missing's not the right word. Are there interviews that the defense does not have access to because of something that happened to those interviews back in 2017?
Judge, I'm gonna object. It's a leading question.
I'll give you a little leeway just to get to the point.
Thank you. I'm trying, inaudible. Were there interviews in 2017 that are not available to the defense because of something that happened in 2017?
Yes. And they're not available to the prosecution, either.
And the dates, what were the dates of those missing interviews?
I believe they were from the date of and time the investigation began up until I believe it was the 21st of March. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at my report to make sure.
Do you have a copy of your report?
I don't have a copy of it. Do you?
Would you agree with me it was dozens and dozens of witnesses?
Correct.
What list of those people whose interviews are missing was drafted so that you and the defense would know what interviews are missing?
I believe there was a list of interviews that was kept in the filing cabinet scan that you were given, and that list may detail that.
You think there is a list of people that were interviewed between February the 14th and whatever that date was in March?
There is a list of the people who were interviewed on what dates in the filing cabinet scans.
Okay. Do you remember testifying at a hearing in Fort Wayne March the 18th?
I do.
Is that the testimony you gave at that interview?
Be something like that.
Interviews, would you agree, just as an investigator, that interviewing people at the beginning of faculty is important, because that's when memories are fresh and the facts are more vibrant for the person interviewed?
Was there a question? I'm sorry. What was your question?
Is it true that it's important to have interviews conducted early on, while the memories are fresh and vibrant in the person's mind?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. So when these missing interviews came up, what month was that?
I believe it was in August we discovered the problem.
And once you discovered the problem and you had this list that you claim,
there was nothing I could do to recover the interviews. They were recorded over.
I understand that. Let's say that John Doe was on this list that you say exists of people that were interviewed on February the 19th. Did you go to John Doe and say, "Hey, we lost your interview. We need you to be re-interviewed about what you saw"? Did you do that?
I did not do that.
Did you ask anyone to do that?
The investigative team was aware that the interviews were lost, and we can make decisions about who we needed to re-interview, if we needed to.
Okay. Who, of the missing interviews, was re-interviewed? That's the question.
Okay. I do not know, or do I remember exactly who was re-interviewed.
Was there a single person that was re-interviewed from these missing interviews?
I believe there was, but I can't recall who they were.
Your job with the What is your job with the prosecution, for the prosecutor?
I'm the investigator.
Okay. And you've been in charge of their evidence, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So as you sit there, you don't know, as both the former police chief.
Without refreshing my notes, and in looking into it more carefully, I can't answer your question right now.
What were the reasons why some of the missing interviews, the people that were involved in those interviews, what were the reasons that some would be re-interviewed and some would not be interviewed?
I can't answer that specifically as to why decisions were made to re-interview people, but I believe it was because we thought that information might be imperative or important.
You did you ever draft a document to explain why the interviews were missing?
I did so immediately.
Okay. But that report that you drafted, does it have a date on it?
No, it does not.
Okay. Was there a second grouping of interviews that ended up being missing?
Yes, there was.
And that was from what time roughly to what time?
This is a little unclear for me right now, but I believe it was sometime later. We had a problem with the DVR. There was an incident where the videos were lost. We thought the hard drive had been reformatted, and we were able to recover the videos, but not the audio.
And that time frame covered what?
As I sit here right now, I cannot remember exactly what the time frame was.
Does April 28th to June 2nd sound about right?
It was the time period we were at their MC building, and I believe that may be correct, but I can't say for sure without looking at my notes.
Was there a list made of the people in those interviews?
There was a list made of the persons who were interviewed for the most part, yes.
Okay. And you believe you've given the defense that list?
They have all the interviews that we do.
But as you said, the interviews are they valuable if they don't have any audio?
All the interviews are valuable.
Okay. How would an interview without sound be valuable?
I'm sorry, that wasn't the question you asked me.
You said all interviews are valuable after I had asked you how valuable is an interview without sound, and you said they're all valuable, and I'm asking you how is an interview without sound valuable?
Well, it is certainly important to have the sound or the audio portion form the interview, I would agree.
And you drafted a report, or strike that. Did you draft a report explaining why the problem with these series of interviews? Did you draft a report detailing why there was a problem with that second series of interviews?
Yes, I did.
Did you put a date of that report on the report?
I don't think I recall. I don't think I put a date on that report, either.
Okay. Do you find it important to put dates on reports or not important?
My report was to detail exactly what happened and the efforts we made to make sure that the interviews, as much as possible, were recovered. I'm sorry that I didn't date the report for you, but I made it right after it happened.
When did you provide these undated reports to the defense?
Those reports were provided to you sometime before today. I think sometime before we had our last hearing.
February of 2024 sound correct?
That could be right.
So why didn't you tender those reports to the defense prior to February of 2024, when we've been on the case for almost a year and a half?
Well, thank you, Mr. Baldwin, for that question, because I really wanted to answer that. I thought that information may have been already contained in the volumes of information that we had given you through discovery, but after I found that it was not, so I wanted to make sure you had them.
It was only after we asked though if there was a report.
Something like that.
Yeah. And it's an undated report, so we don't really know when you drafted it.
I made it right after it happened and made the information available to the investigative team.
But just not to the defense lawyers.
That was later.
In fact, we didn't even know about the missing videos until when?
Judge, I'm gonna object. That calls for speculation, calls for investigator Mullin to determine when the defense knew, and when they didn't know about the missing interviews.
It's speculation. I'll sustain it on speculation.
He either knows or he doesn't know.
It's speculation.
Do you know when the defense learned?
As I stated in the hearing in Fort.
Judge, I'm gonna object. It's the same question. Calls for speculation, Judge.
If he knows. Overruled.
I don't know.
You don't know. I'm gonna hand you, it's not dated, so I'm not gonna ask. Was it, if you know, was it several months, maybe close to a year, before the defense learned of these missing videos?
Judge, I'm gonna object. It's been asked and answered.
I did not ask about the time frame.
Overruled.
I would say that's correct, several months. At least, that's when you were notified of the reports.
Would you agree with me that not dating a report at least should be considered sloppy work?
I would not.
So if you could go back in time, you would not have dated those two.
If I knew you were going to do this to me now, I probably would have.
You think this is funny?
I don't.
So you were put on notice back in March of this year that the defense was scrutinizing the way that you memorialize things, would you agree?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. For some time now, maybe March 18th, when I first conducted when you were on the stand and I asked questions, you've been aware for several months that the defense is scrutinizing the way that you have memorialized your reports.
You told me about it then, yes.
Okay. Are tape recordings a way to memorialize conversations you would have with suspects or with just witnesses?
Yes.
Brad Weber, in August of this year, you called him on the phone, did you not?
I did.
And the purpose of that phone call was to bring him in to talk to him about whether he drove a van and whether he drove straight from his work to his house, correct?
Yes.
And it would be important to memorialize that phone call so that we know whether or not you put any information in his head before he came in the next day for an interview, would you agree?
I agree.
But you did not tape record that phone call with Brad Weber, did you?
I did not.
So we will never really know what that conversation involved, will we?
I detail it in my report.
Was that report dated?
Yes, it was.
You got one of these on your person much of the time?
I do.
Does it have a tape recorder on it?
It does.
Why didn't you use this?
If I might correct, it's not a tape recorder, it's an audio recorder.
Does it tape record?
No, it doesn't tape, it records audio digitally.
Okay. That's fine. Why didn't you use your audio recorder on your phone to tape record the Brad Weber phone call when you asked Brad Weber to come in for his interview the next day?
Well, I believe I was actually using my phone at the time, so I'm not sure if I know how to record it when I'm making a call.
Okay. You got CVS's here in Delphi?
We do.
All right. Do you know if they sell tape recorders?
I'm sure they do, but I have an audio recorder as well.
You have an audio recorder?
I do.
Okay. Why didn't you use the audio recorder?
I don't know why I didn't.
How long does it take to say this, Brad? You did drive straight home from work in a white van, didn't you? How long does that take?
Not very long.
You should have tape recorded that call.
I could have, but I didn't.
My question is, you should have, shouldn't you?
Judge, it's been asked, I'm gonna object. It's been asked and answered various times.
Sustained.
If you could do it all over again, would you tape record that call? Mr. McClelland, Judge, objection. It's been asked and answered. I have not asked that question.
Overruled.
Well, sitting here now, obviously, I probably would have.
When was the first time that Brad Weber ever told law enforcement that he drove a white van direct from work to his house?
I am not certain when he told law enforcement first, but I know he told myself and Detective Harshman that without even asking him the question.
After your phone call the day before.
Which I made no mention of any type what I was going to talk to him about.
So we know that the first time, strike that. We know that at least one time that Brad Weber told police that he drove a white van directly from work to.
Yes.
My question is, what other dates, if you know, did Brad Weber ever say, I drove my white van from work directly to my home other than that day just a couple months ago?
I'm not sure if I can answer your question. I don't know.
You don't know. It's a pretty big deal. You guys are making a big deal about this white van, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't tape record that conversation, right?
I did not.
And then, as you sit here, you don't know if Brad Weber had ever said that before to law enforcement.
I don't recall as I sit here right now.
Was there anything in your investigation that revealed that Brad Weber said something different than he drove directly home from work?
I believe there may have been a mention he drove his Subaru home from work once, but I don't know for sure without rereading the notes.
What about driving not directly home, but going and taking care of his ATM machines?
Judge, I'm gonna object. It's a leading question. It's asked and answered. So I'm gonna object under those grounds.
Sustained.
Who, if you know, has Brad Weber talked to in law enforcement other than?
I believe he talked with Agent Pohl, perhaps Christopher Goatee. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
Okay. And you were here when Christopher Goatee testified today, weren't you?
I was.
And he refreshed his recollection off of a document, were you here when that happened?
I was.
And he remembered that he drove directly from, his memory was refreshed to show he drove directly, or not directly, said he drove home from work, right?
I believe that's what his testimony was.
But he couldn't remember off that document whether or not it wasn't refreshed as to other aspects of that document, was it?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't understand your question, I guess.
It's not a good one. So are you aware of whether Brad Weber has provided conflicting statements about coming home from work and how he came home?
Yes, there's some conflict about it.
Do you know Brad Weber's side, if he has a side job at the time other than Subaru, a way that he made money?
Yes.
How? What do you know about that?
I believe he has some ATM machines he tends to.
Okay. Do you know whether he tended to those ATM machines on?
He says he drove straight home to us.
To you?
Yes.
You being you and who?
Detective Harshman.
Were you present when Brad Weber talked to Agent Pohl and Christopher Goatee?
I was not.
What kind of gun, if any, do you know that Brad Weber possessed?
I believe a Sig Sauer.
I'm weeding through my questions. Did you ever strike that? Was there ever a list made of the law enforcement that were walking in the area of where the bullet was found?
Can you rephrase that question?
Sure. Did you or law enforcement ever put together a list of law enforcement that walked in and around the area of where the bodies were found?
I'm sorry, was not at the scene and I do not know. If there is a list, it was made by the Indiana State Police, the crime scene investigators, and the person who was in charge of the crime scene log.
Okay. Do you know whether any emails were sent out to law enforcement that were in and around the scene, asking them what kind of weapon they were carrying when they were in and around the scene?
I am not aware of that.
Are you aware of any information where law enforcement believed that
No.
Having watched Richard Allen's interview 3 days ago, whenever it was, would you agree with me, would you agree that Richard Allen never said he didn't know which way he traveled when he went to the CPS building?
Are you asking if I would agree with you on that statement?
Did Richard Allen, I'll rephrase. Did Richard Allen ever, in his interview, say, I don't know which way I went when I ended up parked at the CPS building?
He did say something like that.
How many people do you think were involved in the murder of Abby and Libby?
1.
How long have you believed that only one person was involved in the murder of Abby and Libby?
Since the arrest of Richard Allen.
Before that, you thought it was multiple people.
Didn't really matter what I thought. It's what the evidence would show.
Did you believe the evidence would show if there was more than one person?
I didn't know.
A lot of stuff done at that murder scene, would you agree? If that's where the murders occurred.
There was a lot of stuff done. That's your question.
Yes, it is. How long, based upon the evidence CE and your knowledge of the...
Judge, I'm gonna object. It calls for speculation.
Don't know.
Sustained.
Well, we know that the video's at 2:13, correct?
Yes.
What do you think the evidence shows as the end time of the events that led to their murders?
Judge, I'm gonna objection to that question. I'm not sure what events he's talking about.
Sustained.
What time do you think the killer left behind those girls?
I don't know exactly what time he left.
Would you agree with me that it's a major problem for your timeline if Betsy Blair describes, well, strike that. Do you think it's a major problem for your timeline if the person Betsy Blair saw is not Richard Allen?
I'm gonna object, Judge. Leading question.
Sustained.
How important is it that Betsy Blair identified Richard Allen as the person that she saw on the bridge?
I don't believe there's any one portion of our timeline that's terribly important. Mr. Allen says himself he was out on the bridge.
Okay.
He was.
What time did he say that he was out on the bridge?
We know his car arrived at 1:27. He said he was there at 1:30. He would have had to have gotten out to the bridge. It could have easily been accomplished within the time frame of him appearing on the video.
He said that he was there at 1:30.
We have his car there at 1:27 passing.
You have a car.
We have his car, a car certainly looking like his.
Maybe I saw a different video than you, his interview, but I saw him say he was there between 12 and 1:30 or 1:45.
Is there a question?
You said that he was there at 1:30, so where are you getting that information?
From his original report he had made to Dan Doolin.
Okay. Were you standing next to Dan Doolin when he made that report, when he was talking to Richard Allen?
I was not.
Were you standing next to Dan Doolin as he wrote it on his pad?
I was not.
Were you standing next to Dan Doolin as he transferred it from here to his computer?
I was not.
Objection. Asked and answered, Judge.
Sustained.
How important is it that Betsy Blair described a car that, let me rephrase that, how important is it to the timeline that Betsy Blair described a car that matches Richard Allen's car?
Objection. It's leading.
Sustained.
That is not a leading question. That's how important is it. It's not a leading question.
I've sustained the objection, sir.
Based on what?
It's a leading question.
Under Rule 611, that is not a leading question, Judge.
Would you like to rephrase your question, Mr. Baldwin?
Why is it important, that Betsy Blair described a car that matches Rick Allen's car?
I don't believe it's terribly important. We know that she saw a car there. She may have been wrong about her description of the car, maybe even confused.
Maybe even confused.
Yes.
It's a problem, isn't it, for you?
No.
How important? Well, why would it be important that the person that Sarah Carbaugh claims that she saw and the person that Betsy Blair claims that?
Judge, could we have a sidebar, please?
Yeah.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Judge, there's also a relevance objection. That's a question for jury to decide.
I apologize. I don't think they're leading, but I'm frustrated.
It's a matter of fact that you are invading the province of the jury. It's for them to decide what's important, what's not important. They're the ones that are supposed to determine that from taking evidence, and that's their job, not his.
All right. I'll move on.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Why is it, based upon the evidence, that you believe sticks were placed on the girls?
I don't know.
Judge, can he rephrase the question? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing him. What was the question?
I asked.
Not rephrase the question, just repeat it, I'm sorry.
Well, he said he didn't know, but...
Okay.
Do you want?
No, that's okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. When, if ever, did the law enforcement become aware that Monica Walla was talking to podcasters or was paying attention to this case through podcasters and so forth. Do you know when they realized that?
I don't remember.
To your knowledge, was there ever an Amber Alert that was requested or given related to the missing girls?
I do not remember.
You don't.
I don't remember.
Okay. How many girls were with Bree Wilbur, if you know?
I believe there were 4 girls.
Including Bree Wilbur.
I think they met Bree Wilbur on the trail.
You heard testimony in this courtroom. I think you were here, when Mr. McCain testified. Were you in here?
Yes.
Did you hear his description of the height of the bridge?
Yes.
Do you have any reason to dispute that?
No.
Have you been to that end of the bridge where the girls were abducted?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And have you gone from where the girls, that area where they were abducted down to the creek?
Yes.
All right. When you go down the hill, how far, do you know how far that is?
I have not measured it.
Okay. That's one decline of some distance, would you agree? From here to here.
Yes.
It's at least, would you agree, it's at least 10 feet?
Judge, I'm gonna object. It's been asked and answered. He said he didn't know.
Sustained.
And then, when you are down from the initial walk down the hill, where are you?
After coming down from the railroad tracks?
Right.
On Weber's Lane.
Okay. And that's that road that we talked about?
Yes.
Okay. And then, if you turn to your left, where would you go?
Which way am I facing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you're down at the bottom, you're facing.
I'm facing the creek, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. So yes, I would go under the bridge I believe if I went left.
Okay. And then, if you went down another layer, down to the creek, would you also be descending a number of feet to get to the creek from Weber's Lane?
A number of feet, yes.
And do you know how many?
I'm sorry, I don't have that.
That's fine. Do you know if that information was ever gathered? How many feet are from the top of the bridge down to Weber's Lane and how many feet from Weber's Lane down to the next plateau, and now how many feet from that plateau to the creek?
I believe we have that information in topographical maps that we may have available.
Okay. According to your investigation, when would be the latest time that phone was under, Libby's phone was under Abby's body, if you know? The latest.
I'm not sure if I understand your question exactly.
So according to the investigation and what you know about it, what was the latest time frame that phone would have been under Abby's body?
When it was discovered the next day.
No. I believe, you think the bodies were there on the 13th, correct?
Yes, after Mr. Allen killed them.
Okay. I understand that's what you believe. My question is, on the 13th, based upon your belief that Richard Allen killed those girls on the 13th, what time would be the latest that phone would have been under Abby's body? Richard Allen, according to you, is seen by Sarah Carbaugh at around 4 o'clock, we'll use that as a tent post. How much earlier than that 4 o'clock, based upon the investigation, was that phone under Abby's body?
I'm not sure if I understand your question.
Once Richard Allen, according to you, left the scene, did that phone ever leave from being under Abby's body?
No.
Okay. And based upon your investigation, did Richard Allen ever leave with the phone?
No.
And based upon your investigation, did Richard Allen ever return to the scene of the crime?
I don't know.
Were there, on the 13th, are you aware of any search member that came within 100 yards or so of the girls?
I am not.
Okay. Do you remember looking at any trail cams?
Yes.
Okay. On trail cam, was there any revelations that you had about anybody that may have been within 100 yards of those girls?
I know there was a trail cam. I'm not certain how far it was from this location where the bodies were found, and I'm not certain it's exactly 100 yards.
Would it help refresh your recollection if you looked at the deposition?
I don't think so. I remember what I told you.
I don't think you do. I'm going to ask you to refresh your recollection by looking at your deposition. Do you remember taking a deposition?
I do.
That was on
The 13th.
September the 13th. Did you swear to tell the truth?
I did.
Did you do that?
To the best of my knowledge.
Okay. I'm gonna have you look at page 23, lines 14 through 25, and page 24, the whole page. Thank you.
You're asking me to do that?
Yes, I am.
I see no reason for me to do that. I remember what I told you. And I'm telling you now, I don't know exactly how far it was.
Go ahead and refresh your recollection, please.
What were the pages?
Page 23, lines 14 through 25, and all of page 24.
What were the lines again? I'm sorry.
On page 23, that is lines 14 through 25.
What were the other pages?
Page 24, the entire page, 1 through 25. And then lastly, it looks like you're.
I haven't finished yet. I'm sorry. What was the other?
Next page, lines 1 through 8, particularly 6 through 8.
Very well.
What did the trail cam reveal as to the proximity of anyone related to the bodies, where the bodies were ultimately found?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
Does that refresh your recollection of?
Yes, but I don't understand your question.
What did the trail cam say about, show you as to how close somebody was to those bodies?
There was no audio on the trail cam. It was only video, and it showed that there was someone in front of the camera during the day that the search was taking place.
On the 13th?
I believe on the 14th.
You think it was on the 14th?
Yes.
How close was it on the 14th? How close was this person according to, if that's refreshed your recollection?
As I told you, the person would have been in front of the trail cam, pictured on the trail cam.
You said 100 to 200 yards, correct?
I'm not sure if I understand what you're asking me. You're asking where the trail camera is at.
I'm asking you.
Or asking where the person was at on the trail cam.
How close was the person that you saw on the trail cam to where the bodies were found?
It would be important for them to understand where the trail camera was at. I could show you.
Let's do it, then. Do you think you could do it on this?
I think to some degree of accuracy.
Judge, may he step down and show us?
Yes.
Thank you.
So this is the cemetery located here. Indicates, there is a valley right here. Indicates, the best I can understand of what we were able to surmise of the location of the trail, cam was located somewhere within this vicinity on top of a hill. There's a black area here, indicates, and a valley here, indicates, and, of course, the bodies were located somewhere within this Vici 90 here.
Indicates.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that does help. Would it help refresh your recollection about what day the person was on that trail cam that you just described by looking at your deposition?
My memory is fine. I'm not sure what the deposition is going to do. I may have told you something, I don't know. What are you saying? What page?
Page 23, please. Line 14 through 25.
Not there yet, hold on. Page 23 you said?
Yes.
Lines again.
14 through 25.
Yes, go ahead.
What day was it that the person that you saw on the trail cam, what day were they on the trail, or on the trail cam video?
I believe I saw them on the 14th, and then there may have been someone on the 13th.
My question was, are you aware of anyone who searched the area upstream from the Mullin High Bridge on February 13th?
Judge, I'm gonna object to this line of question. It's improper impeachment.
Overruled.
Okay, what's the question?
I asked you, are you aware, in the deposition, are you aware of anyone that searched the area upstream from the Mullin High Bridge on February 13th? And you answered that there was somebody within 200 to 300 yards, and then later, you said one maybe 100 yards.
If those are my words, I believe it's confused. What I am understanding you asked me is what position were they in, where the camera was located at. They were directly in front of the camera.
On February the 13th?
I have a recollection of someone having been seen on the 13th and then again on the 14th.
I asked you about the 13th in the deposition and that's the answer you.
I have no reason to doubt that I said that.
Where the bodies were found is in a flatter area, would you agree?
Your interpretation of flat is what?
That's fine. That's fair. How would you describe the area where the girls' bodies were found?
Near to the creek in a floodplain area. The area where the girls were found at, as I understand, was kind of like in a bowl or a slight depression area within that floodplain.
Okay. And there was a steeper incline maybe 100 yards away from the girls, is that accurate?
Which direction?
West.
Yes.
And actually, if you go north toward the cemetery, was there a steep incline that direction, as well?
There is an incline that direction, as well.
But that was some distance from the girls, as well.
Yes.
How many, if you know, tips were recovered that linked Richard? That said, I think Richard Allen is involved in this crime.
There was only one.
And was that really a tip?
That's not a tip. It was his information given to us about him being out on.
If you know, approximately how many people were searching for the girls around the high bridge on February the 13th?
I don't know how many exactly.
Are you aware of any lists that were made that would how at least some of the people that were searching for the girls?
Only those by the fire departments.
Okay. The ones that were in, one of those, at least, was introduced today.
Yes.
If you know. To your knowledge, I mean, you heard Fire Chief Sterrett testify that you and then Sheriff Leesenby were kind of in charge of the initial search on the 13th. Did you hear him testify to that?
I did.
Would you agree with that?
I don't think I was in charge.
Okay. Was there a concern among law enforcement that the girls may have fallen into the water or would be in the water?
There were a number of concerns about their safety in that respect, maybe falling in the water, become lost. As Chief Sterrett said, hunkered down, we had no idea.
And focusing some of the search, at least, with flashlights into the creek, that was part of the way the search was conducted, looking for the girls in the creek?
Judge, may I ask some foundational questions?
You may.
Investigator Mullin, were you out there during the search?
No, I was not.
Did you participate in the search in any way?
I did not go out to the scene or participate in the actual search.
Judge, I'm gonna object to speculation.
Sustained.
Do you believe that people were searching east of the bridge on the 13th?
I believe that there were people out there. I know that someone went to Brad Weber's house, which is in the general area you're pointing to.
What about on the north side of the bridge?
On the north side of the bridge?
I'm sorry, on the north side of.
You were pointing to a different area.
To the north side of the creek, no, the east side of the bridge.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat the question.
That's fine, are you aware, through the course of this investigation, as to anybody searching north of the creek, east of the bridge, on February 13th?
I am not. In that area you're pointing to, I am not.
But you don't know whether anyone did or not.
I don't know.
And you heard Chief Sterrett's testimony today?
I did.
How familiar are you with the DNA aspects of this investigation?
Not particularly.
Okay. Then, I'll move on. Why did it take so long? Maybe you know this. I don't think you have to know much about DNA to know the answer to this. Why did it take so long for the Unified Command to get Kelsey's DNA profile and turn it over to the lab so that they would know whether or not that was her hair in the hand?
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about that? Who would know and be in the best position, as far as you know from the investigation, to know the most about Libby's cell phone, the forensic data contained in Libby's cell phone?
Christopher Cecil or Brian Bunner.
Give me just a second, Judge. I'm getting close to the end here. To your knowledge, did law enforcement receive numerous tips, phone calls, emails from tipsters claiming that they knew or recognized the voice on that video?
I can say, over the years, we've received individuals who said that they thought the person they heard on the voice was someone they knew.
Okay. Can you give me an estimate of how many?
I'm sorry, several.
Okay. Dozens?
More than that.
Hundreds?
Perhaps.
Do you ever believe that Richard Allen returned to the crime scene, too?
I don't know.
As part of your job, do you draft reports?
I do.
And is that just part of the job as a regular, routine practice of your work?
Yes.
Judge, can we have a sidebar?
Sidebar conference conducted.
We're going to attempt to get this document in as A, under 803.6.
What's 803.6?
I don't know, I can't think of the name of it. It's not prior recorded.
Jim will tell us the official title.
Record of regularly conducted activity.
Record collected, yeah, regularly conducted activity.
The business record exception.
Yes.
Yes, essentially.
How Judge, inaudible, there's hearsay, inaudible, talk about ISP, inaudible, there's I don't believe, inaudible, it's 803.
It's 803.6.
803.6.
I didn't think police reports were included in that.
I tell you what.
I have not read this.
Here's what I'm willing to do, if it's okay, I will just stop my examination, I will recall him if I'll give you a chance to make your argument, and that's the way we'll do it. All right.
Sidebar conference concluded.
To your knowledge, before Richard Allen was arrested and thrown into solitary confinement at Westville Prison, he had always steadfastly denied his involvement in the murders.
Judge, I'm gonna object. That's a Leah Ding question.
Sustained.
How many times before Richard Allen was arrested and thrown into solitary confinement at Westville Prison did he confess to the crimes?
None.
Thank you, investigator.
Mr. McClelland.
Judge, just a moment, please. Investigator Mullin, you interviewed Brad Weber in August of this year. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And prior to the interview, you gave him a phone call. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And that phone call was to ask him to come down and speak with you. Correct?
Correct.
And in that phone call, you did not tell him the topic of the investigation. Correct?
That is correct.
And in that phone call, you didn't tell him what to say in your interview, did you?
I did not tell him what to say.
And the interview of Brad Weber, was that recorded?
Yes, it was.
And was a report drafted for that?
Yes, there was.
And during that interview, did Brad Weber state that he got off work at 2:02 and drove straight home?
He did.
And in that interview, did he tell you that he drove his van home?
Yes, he did tell us that.
And in that interview, he knew that he drove his van home from reviewing his phone records. Correct?
That's what he said.
And in fact, you pulled his phone records. Correct?
We did.
And from those phone records, you were able to confirm that he did in.
Yes.
And through that interview, Mr. Weber informed you he got home about 2:30 p.m. on February 13th of 2017. Is that correct?
Yes.
And during the pendency of this investigation, a gun from Brad Weber was collected. Correct?
Yes.
And he consented to handing the gun over to law enforcement?
He did.
And that was tested by the laboratory.
Yes.
And that gun was given back to Mr. Weber. Correct?
That is correct.
I don't have any other questions, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Baldwin.
But Brad Weber's Sig Sauer was not excluded as the weapon from whence that bullet came.
I'm not certain what the lab results say, but it indicated that his weapon was not involved. There was no match made.
That's what you think that the lab report said.
I'd have to look at it again, but that's what I understand.
Were you here when there was testimony concerning that?
I may have missed that portion.
Yeah. So you don't know if Brad Weber's gun was ever excluded?
It was determined that it was not the weapon that was connected to the bullet found at the scene.
When you talked to Brad Weber after your phone call, the next day he came in, did you ever inquire to Brad Weber or asked him questions if he had ever provided inconsistent statements about his route home?
I don't think I did. I don't remember that.
That would be a good question to ask of someone, would you agree, if they've ever given an inconsistent statement?
I would answer that by saying Mr. Weber said, when he was talking with us, that he had remembered exactly what happened that day because he had reviewed his text messages prior to coming to talk with us.
That's interesting. That's certainly interesting that he would be reviewing his text messages when he doesn't know exactly why he's coming in, would you agree?
I would agree that's interesting, and I have no explanation for it.
Thank you. No other questions.
Mr. McClelland.
Investigator Mullin, my recollection from the testimony from the lab analyst or lab scientist is that she confirmed that the bullet found at the scene was cycled through the gun owned by Richard Allen. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
I also recall her stating that if she were able to, the gun technician did not come to the same conclusion with Brad Weber's gun. Correct?
Correct.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Does anybody on the jury have any questions for Mr. Mullin? Would counsel approach?
Sidebar conference conducted.
Do law enforcement officers use hollow point cartridges as a standard issue bullet?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which direction does the trail cam face, north, east, south, west?
No objection.
No.
If you saw someone on the trail cam, could you identify what they were wearing?
No objection.
No objection.
Is it possible to see anything on the ground? I assume that's from the trail cam.
From the trail cam? Yeah, no objection.
No objection.
Could you have seen the bodies if the videos were?
No objection.
From the trail cam, I assume.
Yeah, this is all trail cam.
Okay. I'm sorry, Judge. No objection.
No, but I will couch these all so that he understands this is trail cam stuff.
Okay.
Libby's cell phone movements S-top at 2:32 on February 13, 17. The phone was under Libby's body. Do you believe that is where they died?
No objection.
No.
As a trained officer, how hard is it to be accurate with a vehicle description parked while driving by it, only seeing it for a short amount of time?
No objection.
No.
Can you expect someone who is not trained to look for details quickly and perfectly describe a vehicle parked while driving by?
I mean,
I think it's speculation, but that's fine.
Are law enforcement issued hollow point bullets for their department-issued guns?
you know that was the first one.
This one is used. This one is are they issued hollow point bullets for their department-issued guns?
Oh, okay.
I'm okay if you combine the question, saying issued and used.
'Cause then the next part of IT is, if no, can they legally carry hollow point bullets in their department-issued guns?
I'm okay with combining the question.
No.
If you want to combine them.
No.
Maybe I'll ask this one instead of that one, do they use issued because then if they...
That's fine, but I mean, no, it's fine.
If you know, do we have the trail cam video?
If he knows.
I have no objection.
Can we make sure the timestamp is accurate, as setting date and time is something that happens manually by the owner of the camera.
The trail cam is not inaudible.
No, that's...
This is the trail.
I would object to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can answer that, but no.
If he knows.
Okay. Yeah, very thoughtful jury.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Which direction does the trail cam face? North, east, south, west?
The trail cam was facing the west and a little bit south, and it'd be basically towards Delphi, I guess would be the best way to look at it. If I could show them the map, it'd be helpful.
Sure, go ahead.
Get my bearings. Okay, so the trail cam, as best as I recall from the view and what we saw, was facing in this direction. Indicates, so anyone walking in front of it would have been picked up standing to the west and more west and south from it. Did I make that clear?
Any follow-up, Mr. Baldwin?
Yes. Baldwin.
Would the trail cam have shown the direction from whence the person was traveling, either west to east or east to west?
The trail cam would have shown someone walking towards it, if they were walking towards the east or northeast, and it would have also shown someone walking from the north to south or south to north in front of it. But also, keep in mind, this area was in the woods and the area of vision was restricted to 25 to 30 feet.
And that, what we're talking about, again, was about 1 to 200 yards from where the girls were found.
I have not measured it.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Mr. McClelland.
Investigator Mullin, I'm gonna blow up State's Exhibit 5. And can you show again the jury where, and for me, too, where the trail camera was?
The trail cam was located about in this area here. Indicates, there's like a logging trail that goes through the woods here. Indicates.
That's fine. And where was the trail cam pointed?
That direction. Indicates, if you see the camera facing inside of my hand, it was facing that direction.
So it was facing down towards the bottom.
Yes.
Of the photo? And were the bodies found on the back side of the trail camera?
The bodies were found were right in this vicinity here. Indicates.
So the area where the bodies were found wouldn't be in the field of view of the trail camera. Is that an accurate statement?
That is an accurate statement.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Judge, I have questions after that, if that's okay.
Briefly.
That logging trail that you talked about, that naturally goes down toward the creek, that's how you get access to that bottom part of the creek, is that correct?
I don't believe it is exactly accurate. I think the trail goes to this area and I think it stops in this vicinity, indicates, at the top of the hill. It may continue on down to the creek as a kind of a walking area, not necessarily driving.
So it would go to the creek.
Eventually, it would lead down to the depression of the valley, hit to the valley here. Indicates.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead and have a seat, then. If you saw someone on the trail cam, could you identify what they were wearing?
I did, yes.
Mr. Baldwin, any follow-up?
Did you know who it was from looking at the trail cam? It was that defined?
We identified it as Fireman Clausen.
Thank you.
Mr. McClelland.
I don't have any questions, Judge.
Is it possible in the trail cam, is it possible to see anything on the ground?
Yes. I'm trying to think how to describe the aspect of the view of the camera. It would be probably in thirds, ground, front of it, and then in height the sky above. I'm not sure if that's a good way to describe it. That's the best I can do. You can see the ground in front of it, yes.
Any follow-up, Mr. Baldwin?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. McClelland.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
And on that trail cam, could you have seen the bodies if the videos were altered to zoom in?
No.
Mr. Baldwin.
No.
Mr. McClelland.
No, Your Honor.
Libby's cell phone movement stopped at 2:32 p.m. on February 13, 2017, and the phone was found under Libby, Abby's body. Do you believe that is where they died?
I do.
Mr. Baldwin.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. McClelland.
No, Your Honor.
Are law enforcement issued or use hollow point bullets for their department-issued guns?
Yes.
Mr. Baldwin.
No.
Mr. McClelland.
No, Your Honor.
If you know, do we have the trail cam video, and can we be sure the timestamp is accurate?
Yes, we do have it.
Mr. Baldwin.
No questions.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions.
As a trained officer, how hard is it to be accurate with a vehicle description parked while driving by it, only seeing it for a short amount of time?
Can you repeat that, please?
You're a trained officer, how hard is it to be accurate with a vehicle description parked while driving by it, only seeing it for a short amount of time?
As an officer who's had experience identifying vehicles over their career, I would expect their account to be accurate.
Mr. Baldwin.
No, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions, Judge. Thank you.
Can you expect someone who is not trained to look for details quickly to perfectly describe a vehicle parked while driving by it?